In composing the text, the author was conscious of presenting things as they are, in language and in the right measure. He did not claim truth for himself, but had the generosity to expose a path. The author gave to the being, what can only be given to the being, the clarification of opportunity. He did not engage in concepts. He demonstrated a world that can be seen clearly, and in which one can position oneself. The author demonstrated that wages are proportional to work. He did not explicitly state fatalism or obligations. He brought forth the light that he himself experienced. Not as an alternative, but as an inherent possibility available to the being. The author demonstrates that there is no possibility of choice, but of transposition. Only the being itself can reconcile paradoxes. There are no answers outside of being. There are no instruments, tools, or weapons outside of being. It is impressive to know that the measure is correct. Explaining the universe is a waste of time. The fundamental is to explain oneself. The intelligence of opposites will counter-argue with relative propriety. It is up to the being to use its matured nature. One perceives the delicate use of the text to expose this in a clear and simple way. There are only 3 short phrases that expose the work to be done, in which what is sought is in what is despised. Transparency, when given on how, and what vision brings, also demonstrates clearly how things are, namely, elements conceived by the being itself. The author makes it clear that this is how it works. One who conceives does not conceive reality. Anything conceived is not reality. Reality is prior to conception. The work is on the instruments of conception and their use. And that is overly simple. The treatise does not apply to conceived everyday life. It applies to what conceives, by what it conceives. It brings with simplicity the notion that persistence and non-conformity are destined for success. The text is not enigmatic. Even when placed in the imaginary universe, it transmits to the being the elements that compose the execution of the work. Obstinacy, silence, stillness, introspection, trust, courage, boldness, persistence, nature, pure science, and communion. A work in phases and colors. Initially in black, then in white, yellow, and red. There is no need for details. Concepts are unnecessary. What is needed for sublimation has already been given.